And today marks 80 years since the U.S. dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, killing 140,000 people. Thousands traveled to the Japanese city for the anniversary, including survivors. Our Britt Clennett spoke with one woman who was just 8 years old when the bomb hit, but says she still remembers it vividly. And Britt, today's a milestone, but you say they actually mark this every day?
Yeah, Diane, every day a bell rings out over Hiroshima. It's actually quite haunting. It's something we have seen for ourselves, but today a silent prayer was held in Japan, and the U.S. ambassador there, he attended memorial ceremonies in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, saying that the people of those places and that their message of peace and hope are really an enduring reminder of the power of reconciliation. And really, Diane, it is a solemn time in Japan as the country marks those attacks which brought a scale of destruction the world had never seen and eventually brought an end to World War II.
As tensions spike from the battlefields of Ukraine to the Middle East, the horrors of Hiroshima exactly 80 years ago today stand as a warning of the unimaginable dangers of nuclear war.
There it is, every morning at 8:15. That sound rings out over Hiroshima at the exact time the bomb was dropped.
Detonated at 2,000 feet above the city, a single atomic bomb causing an explosion that ripped through the town.
Город Hiroshima.
Destroying everything within a half-mile radius, an intense fire swallowing up the city, burning all day long and claiming at least 100,000 lives, some estimates even higher.
When I recall George Stephanopoulos, I get the head, but I want to cry, you see.
In Hiroshima 2 years ago, I met Keiko Agura. She was just 8 years old when the bomb was dropped, but the memories of that day remain hauntingly vivid.
Of course, I remember the flash. First, there was bright flash and wind, like a typhoon or tornado, you know. When I opened my eyes, I was surprised because everywhere was just dark, and then no sound, I remember.
Now 88 years old, Agura makes it her mission to share her story so others won't forget the horrors of nuclear war.
I first sensed burnt hairs, very bad smell. Their skin was hanging down from the tip of their finger and coming like a ghost or a zombie or something, burned hair, coming to my area, and they started to die.
Agura tells me how she met a 6-year-old Ukrainian girl at the Peace Museum. She could see how that little girl's innocence had also been lost by the brutality of war.
She was so much interested in dead body. Is he dead or is she dead? Is it the man? And she said, oh, like Ukraine.
Like Ukraine.
She will continue this bad memory forever, like I have still now.
Near the centre of the blast stands the iconic atomic dome, the ruins of a former exhibition hall, the only structure that survived the explosion.
This is a shrine outside the atomic dome. You can see there are flowers, there are photos.
Reminders around Hiroshima to keep memories of the consequences of that day alive.
I know the fear, the reality when the nuclear weapon was used. Then I can't stand even existing nuclear weapon, even single weapon existing on the world, on this planet. We need to think about the future generations.
Now in Japan, survivors are known as hibakusha, and they've really become symbols of peace, a living reminder of what must never happen again. Now, there are fewer of them, but they are still speaking out, like you saw there with Keiko Agura. It really is a reminder, you know, of the power of nuclear weapons, she told me, and that it should never happen again. But I should also remind our audience that 9 countries do possess nuclear weapons: the United States, Russia, China, and Israel. And the mayor of Hiroshima said today at the Peace Memorial that there's a growing acceptance of nuclear weapons as deterrence, saying that this is dangerous and undermines the lessons of Hiroshima. Diane.
And Japan's military was heavily restricted after World War II, but they seem to be accelerating efforts to build that back now. Why?
Yeah, absolutely. That post-war identity, it is shifting. The Constitution, the Japanese Constitution, that is, was drafted during the U.S. occupation, we have to remember. It renounces war as a means of settling disputes. Now, Japan hasn't actually revised that pacifist charter, but the space around it has changed. Many in Japan are now perceive real and growing threats. Topics that were politically untouchable a decade ago, they are now freely debated. So, conflicts seem no longer regional, but interconnected to Japan. North Korea, now a frontline participant in the Ukraine war, continues to launch missiles in defiance of sanctions, while China tests boundaries and dares others to push back. And in recent years, Japan itself has asserted itself more openly, sending a warship through the Taiwan Strait in 2024 and dispatching a prime minister to a country at war the year before. And leading up to this anniversary, the tone, Diane, it has shifted from remembrance to readiness. Ukraine today may be East Asia tomorrow. That's what was said by former Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Diane?
All right, Britt Clennett, thank you.